Hi everybody, it is Vlogmas day 21, 21st of December, and it's a Monday, and we took delivery of our new bed today. What a bloomin' carry on. Well, I can't see, I can see you better that way. What a carry on we had. It was supposed to be going to be delivered between 7 and 1. And then I had to go and deliver some medals to a council further along into the next county council, and especially there were medals for kids that are in foster care, so they wanted to give them some little Christmas present medals. So I disappeared, and when I came back, that was this morning, and when I came back I said, "Has the bed come?" And he said no. And I said, "Well, usually they ring you up and tell you do you know what time it's coming?" So he looked at his phone and he said, "Oh," he says, "it says between 7 and 1. And I said, "Well, it's 1:30 now." So he said, "Right, okay, I'm going to ring up." So he rang up and they said, "Well, it's on its way. We don't know where it is, but it's on its way." So, right, okay, waiting for the bed. He then had to go and take some parcels to the couriers. Off he goes to the couriers, and the van turns up with the bed. A man in his 50s and a young lad in his 20s turned up, and I said, "Are you going to take it upstairs for us?" And I said, "No." The guy said, "Oh, we're not allowed to do that." And I thought, I was livid, because and I said, "Well, when we bought it, that was the first thing we asked, did they take it up to the bedroom?" And they said yes. And he said, no, we're not allowed to, not allowed to." So I was foaming. So as him and this young lad were carrying it through the door, he says, "Where do you want?" I said, "Here." And I yanked it through. I says, "Leave it." I says, "I'll do it if you can't take it upstairs." So while they went to get the other piece, I lifted this bed up and put it, our stairs go up and turn and up. And so I lifted it up and put it on the first landing of the stairs. And when they came back in, they said, "Where's the other one gone?" I said, "I put it there." I says, "I've lifted it up myself. Me." So I was really annoyed. So then they brought the other one in, and I grabbed a hold of it and moved it again. And I said, "I'm really annoyed about this." I says, "Suppose we two 70-year-olds will have to do it, you know." I said, "It's ridiculous that two 70-year-olds have got to do it and you aren't going to do it for us." So then he went, I don't get annoyed very often, but I was really, really rubbed the wrong way with this. So then this older one, I think the young lad felt a bit embarrassed about it all, and the older one then got onto his lorry and started coughing. So I said, "You can stop that off as well." I says, "because I know you're just putting that on." Can you tell I used to be a teacher? His lordship used to say, "I hate it when you go, Brian, come here." So anyway, after they went, I rang his lordship because he was on his way back, and I said, "You'll never guess what." I said, "They've only delivered the bed while you were away," and I said they wouldn't take it upstairs. So when he came back in, he rang up and he was very, very nice to the girl, and he said, "I just want to put in a complaint." He said, "On your website it says that they will take the bed upstairs." He says, "I thought they would do that." And she says, "Well, they are supposed to." And he says, "Well, they didn't." He said, he says, "My wife was very annoyed and she told them off." And she said, well, that's not supposed to happen. Here's this number, ring this number, or here's an email address and write to them." So he says, "Well," he says, "I'll write to them," but he says, and she says, do you need me to call them to tell them to come back?" And he says, no, he says, we're going to do it ourselves." He says, "It's no waste of time for you to do it." So there's him up there and me pushing this bed. It came in 2 pieces. The bottom part came in 2 pieces, so I pushed that up, and then we pushed this mattress up, which was a king-size mattress. and then we had to start assembling it. My God. We were absolutely, he was lathered. He'd already been packing boxes and he was saying, "God, I'm shattered." So by the time we'd finished there, I said, "Well, I'm absolutely exhausted." And I said, "I haven't done half as much as you have today." So anyway, this bed looks lovely, and he said, "Can I come in it tonight?" And I said, "Oh, I'll let you come and join me." I said, really, you're not supposed to be here till Christmas Eve, you know. I said, but I said, oh, I might as well let you come and join me, because the thing is, the other bed is it's assembled and moved. We did that this morning. So, but I think we need to make the bed, and I said, oh, leave that, I'll do that tomorrow morning so you can come and join me. So that was the saga of the new bed. It's a good job him and I it's a good job him and I we're really positive about things, because when we got upstairs we'd only find so many casters for the bed, and we're going, well, where's the rest of the casters? And I think at the very end we found some in this drawer. It has an underbed drawer, so we found some in there and we got it all sorted. And then he lay on the bed, and I lay beside him. I says, oh, there's loads of room between you and me. He says, yes, I'm hanging on to the end just in case. So it was good fun. Even though we had to do it ourselves, it was good fun. We laughed all the way, and actually, what did I do? He was doing something at the bottom end of the bed, at the far side, and I'm used to our bed not moving. Our old bed is a wooden framed one, and you can't get it to move very far. And this one was on casters, so I then moved it, the front of the bed behind the bed head to move it. I don't know why I wanted to move it. I think I wanted to get some wires, cables around the back for the bedside light. And I moved the bed and it shot, knocked him flying. He's going, oh my God. And I burst out laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. I was absolutely in such a state of laughter that he ended up being in a state of laughter for it. Our bed is now assembled with sheets on, with a quilt cover, with a bedspread, with whatever you need, the pillows and everything. And I will be allowing him to join me tonight. Anyway, let's get on to more. Oh, I want to do answer some questions, because you were all sending me questions and I haven't really had a chance to answer them. So, a lot of you pointed out that previous film that I did, you said, oh, that was a bit scary. I had speeded the film up of driving to the countryside. I speeded up because I thought, oh, you won't want to watch this at the normal pace. And I have to say, apart from one time when he overtook this first bicycle and I went, Brian, you shouldn't have done that. He says, I was fine, but then the car was coming the other direction. Every other time he does a wide berth and he could see, the camera is on my side and I'm the passenger, so it's on the side nearest the curb. And a lot of you said, oh, it feels really strange. So had I been on the other side, you can see more from that side because he was the driver. What was it, Karen Lowe's and Cheryl Ross and a couple of others made comments about the speed of it. And Karen Lowe's said, His Lordship did very well dodging the cyclists. It's a narrow little country lane, I have to say, yes, you're right. But at this time, ever since lockdown, people have come out on their bikes and they're all cycling, getting the exercise, walking, cycling, taking their dogs. And we go along that road quite often. So you're aware and you're conscious of all the cyclists, and you do take care as you approach them or go around corners. But as I say, that was speeded up. Anyway, the next one was from Joan Searing. And Joan was telling me, she corrected me, because I got slightly wrong, and I don't mind being corrected because I'm not altogether knowledgeable on some of these things. When I was telling you about the Queen who goes to Balmoral for Christmas, and that she sometimes goes there in the summer, Joan said, Happy Christmas to you and Brian. The Queen lives at Windsor Castle, Balmoral for her summer holiday, and Sandringham for Christmas. So she spends Christmas in Sandringham. She usually lives in Windsor Castle, and then she goes up to Balmoral for the summer holidays. So she's got three different places to choose from. This year, though, she and Philip are staying at Windsor. Yes, I remember watching that on the news where they were saying the Queen wasn't going to be at Sandringham, she was going to stay at Windsor. I would imagine probably because Sandringham is not easy to get to hospitals and Windsor is. And also Prince Philip is quite old now, he's over 100, so probably easy access to doctors and medical facilities just in case. Now then, the next one was, several of you mentioned how you're like me, you don't use creams and things, and that a lot of us are old school, soap and flannel. I like, some of you were saying that you use soap and flannel, and my fringe needs cutting. It's annoying me because it's getting in my eyes. Some of you were saying that you use soap and flannel. I use these. I rub the soap on my hands, and first of all I splash my face with cold water. Got to have cold water on a morning when I get up. Cold water. Then I put soap on my hands and froth it up to make a froth, and then I just rub it all over like that, and round there, around the neck and everything, and then I rinse it all off with the cold water. No hot water at all. Never have, never will. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've only started doing that for the past 15 years, and I just can't. It wakes me up. I like cold water on my face to wake me up on a morning, so that's the only reason I do it for, to wake me up. And I was trying to get my granddaughter to do the same thing, because she keeps saying, I don't want to get up, I like being in bed. So I always use cold water on my face. Now then, who else said something? Patty Isaacson said, that's something I haven't heard of before. Dirty stop out. What does that mean? Well, I said that the cat was a dirty stop out because she stopped out all night. Well, I don't know, it might be a local thing from the area that I live. But when I used to be a student and somebody went off to their boyfriend's hall of residence and they didn't come back, you'd say, oh, you dirty stop out, meaning they should have been back, but they weren't, you know. And little Lizzie, I called her a dirty stop out when she's been out all night. I go, oh, you dirty stop, you've been with a boy. So dirty stop out is where you've been out and you've probably been out with a boyfriend. Oh, here he is. Here's the man with a plan.
No, it's the man with the coffee.
The man with the coffee. He's exhausted, bless him, aren't you?
No.
You're exhausted with all the packing of the trophies and the assembling of the bed.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yes, but. No, but.
Yeah, but no, but.
Yeah, but no, but.
You were exhausted.
I was at the time. I was dripping. And now I'm going upstairs.
To play your guitar?
To think about playing my guitar.
See you later.
In a bit.
You can't shut the door because I've got the wire there. On a night time we've got Christmas tree lights up on the outside of the garden, and I connect it to a socket here. And so the wire goes round the door and you can't really close it. So we'll just leave it like that till we go to bed, and then I bring it all in. So, what was the next thing? Kes44P says, love your Vlogmas. I would also love to know more about how you and his lordship, how you met, etc. You have such a special relationship and are obviously lovely people who are well suited. Any hints to finding a keeper? Well, that's an answer that I'll keep for another day. Keep you all in suspense. Let's just say I wasn't looking for him and he was kind of looking for me. But I'll tell you one day. Linda V said, it's the same, I'm the same, warm water and a flannel in my skincare routine. I put face cream on if my skin feels tight. I wear a bit of eye makeup and that's it. Hate foundation on my skin and can't stand, and I missed the end of that bit. I do screenshots and then I forget to take the full message. I have lately, I don't know if you've noticed, I have a brown patch there, and that's one of those, it's like this one there. Is it there? Yeah, that one there. They were never there before, but these are with being out in the sunshine, and so I do, when I get up in sunnier weather, I do like to put some suntan cream on, or when I do wear makeup, I like to get something that's got a factor on it so that you can usually about factor 15, factor 20, so it covers my face, because this is one of those, I forgot what we call them. You'll know what I'm talking about, but that's, it always looks like I've got a dirty mark on my face there, and that one there has just gone really, it's appeared. That appeared about 15 years ago. It hasn't got any bigger, just like a brown liver spot. It's a liver spot. So I do like to cover my face with something, especially for the sunshine. We don't get much sunshine, but also, I mean, I've got to bear in mind that there's ultraviolet light that comes through even on dark days. So I do like to put a little bit of something on if I know I'm going out and I'm going to be out in the fresh air for too long. I like to cover it up with something just to protect it. I don't want these getting bigger, let's see. Funnily enough, my friend has exactly the same one there. She's a scout leader, Barbara. She had exactly the same one. And when she used to go to the scout meetings, one of the people who was there was a doctor. He was a skin doctor. And he kept saying, he came up to her one day and he said, "Can I just offer to remove that for you?" And he said, "I won't charge you for it," but he says, "I'd like to remove it because it says it's unsightly, and B, it's getting bigger." So he removed it, and she said it was just a matter of him burning it off, but she said it didn't half make a difference. She's now got like a paler patch there. So but I think she said he said it wasn't cancerous or anything. Do you feel uncomfortable by having it? And she said, "Well, I've got used to it now." And he says, "Well, I can remove it and I won't charge you." So she said, "Well, what the heck, you've offered to do it and you're not going to charge me, so do it." Angela's always giving me nice long ones. I don't always get round to answering you, Angela. So, and sometimes if you notice that I don't put a kiss, if I don't put a thumbs up or whatever for you, it sometimes means that I'm going to go back and answer you, or I want to tell it on to you lot in front of the camera. She says, "Since you mentioned Debbie, did you make the purses for her and your daughter?" No, I haven't. I still haven't made it. In fact, tonight Debbie came and she has brought the most enormous present for me and his lordship for Christmas, and she brings my birthday present. And she arrived at the door with her daughter, and I've had to give her her Christmas present, and her birthday is the 2nd of January. So I said to her, "I haven't got your birthday present yet," but I said, "Fingers crossed I'll have it for your birthday, and if I don't, I'm going to have to give her something else." But yeah, I have to get going on it. We've been so busy with his side of the business that that I haven't hardly done any sewing, and that is top of my priority list, to make her a purse. So when I do, I'm going to try and do it's a German purse, and I will do a little what do you call it, tutorial on how to do it. So that was the first thing she said. Then, oh, and I also said to Debbie, I said, "Debbie, if him and I are dead tomorrow," because we burst out laughing because we said, "Oh, we could have a heart attack with all of this carrying of the beds." So when Debbie came, I said, "Debbie," I said, if you hear that his lordship and I have popped our clogs and died through the night," I said, "get that bed company sued." Because it's their fault. She burst out laughing. Anyway, the other thing that she said is, when I saw on the news all the people trying to get to Paris, it just made me so angry. Yes, they've closed the borders. And there's a tale to tell here, because my nephew, my sister who I told you has died, she had 2 children. One still lives up in Northumberland, where I actually was born, and the other one, he has uprooted and gone and moved to a house. He's renting a house by the Pyrenees, at the foot of the Pyrenees, and he wants to live there for the rest of his life. He's decided he wants to, because there's Brexit happening here, we are going independent from Europe, and he has decided he wants to be in France. So he has rented a house down there with a full intention later on of buying one. And he had to come he had to come back to near London to get his belongings to take down there. And he had done that. He reckoned he had to do 2 journeys. So he came up, got one lot of stuff, went back, and he's got a motorhome. Then he came back up, and he was supposed to go back on Saturday night. But what happened on Saturday night? We went into some areas went into lockdown 4, tier 4, and no, it wasn't Saturday night, it was last night. He was supposed to be getting the boat to go across back to France, and they wouldn't let them on because France has closed all the ferries. They've closed everything off, and so everybody was stranded. They couldn't get back to France, and all the lorries have been backpiling because there's lorries supposed to be going to Europe and they can't get there. And so Boris has been on the phone to Macron, President of France, and then they've been having a bit of a they've been saying, you know, we've got to get this food out here, and we've got lorry drivers who have to take food to France and things to France. There's fish in some of these lorries and all sorts. So there's been a bit of a to-do, and I think they were waiting to find out. I think the reason why they closed the borders was because they were worried about this COVID mutation that's going around part of England. They wanted to be certain from scientists that it was going to be okay. It is okay apparently, fingers crossed. It's the same COVID as before, but it just spreads quicker, so we all have to be very careful. Now, I am very positive about this. If I get it, I get it. I'm one of these people that until it happens, I'm not going to worry. So that's why I'm very happy. That's why my glass is always half full. And as far as I'm concerned, until it's at my door, or until somebody I know physically has it, I'm not going to get worried about it. She was asking also about the food that we got. Well, I think I did tell you. We went around and we've got some duck for Christmas lunch. I'm a very fussy eater. I really am a fussy eater. I'm kind of bordering on vegetarian. Not because I don't like meat, but I don't like anything that's on a bone. There's a lot of reasons for this. When I was younger, my father, being French, used to give us stuff where the blood was pouring out of it, because the French like everything very rare. And when he used to do roast beef, it used to be bloody, and I always used to ask for the brown part at the end because I couldn't bear the thought of eating a bloody piece of meat. And then as I got older, post-war food was scarce, so when you got meat, sometimes it had grizzle in it, and my mother would do some joint or something, and she'd do mince or do something, and sometimes you got a bit of grizzle, and I found myself chewing. This is me as a 5 or 6 year old, and that used to put me off, that if I found a bit of gristle in my meat. So that was a no-no. Then as I got older, I was at school and I did biology, and I was very good at dissecting things. And we dissected a fish, we dissected a frog, we dissected an earthworm. We dissected, what else did we dissect in school? I think it was just those 3 things. And because I was quite good at it, when we had a parents' evening, I was asked to dissect another fish to show everybody what was there. And then when I was training to be a teacher, we dissected a rabbit. And the rabbits, when I remember going into the lab, when we were told we were going to be dissecting a rabbit, and they said, these rabbits, when they brought them in, they said, mind, these rabbits have just been freshly killed, so do not try not to cut through the artery because you'll get squirted with blood. So I can take any blood, I can do anything. I could, chop my finger off and spend all my time looking at the insides of the thumb. But the mere thought that this poor rabbit has just been freshly killed was bad enough. But there was another time when I'm not going to tell you a full story, but there was another time when I was in France, stopping with my grandfather, where an event with a rabbit put me off food. It's put me off rabbit. And I will tell you about it some other time because it's a bit of a long story and it goes on too long for here. And then, of course, I don't know, there's just something about, I can eat meat if it's off a bone, but if it's on a bone, and if it's chicken, it's got to be white. I don't like anything that's got streaks of blood or anything in it. Just very fussy. I've gone on a long time, haven't I? Anyway, basically, he got duck, and he wanted duck's wings, and I said, well, I would rather have just duck's breast. So we've got a bit of duck's wing and duck's breast for Christmas dinner. It's a long way to tell you, isn't it? Anyway, let's get on with some calendars, shall we? Hemline calendar. I'll drop you down a bit so you can see. Hemline calendar, 21st of December. Getting very close to a non-event. 21st, there we go. That one there. Another little boxy box. And what's in this boxy box? Are you ready? Oh, hang on, I'll move this out of the way because I'll need to get fairly close to this. Ready? Da 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 da. Oh, now let's go back and then go in. Juiceable thread class. Invisible thread. Invisible thread clear. Never heard of this one before. Oh, it's nylon thread. We would have called that nylon thread nowadays. Let's see if I can get closer. It's just a very thin thread that is clear. Invisible thread clear. Oh, very, very, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? If I put it up against, there, it's almost like a hair. There. Invisible thread. So you can put that in your top spool and sew it. I used to do a lot of this with invisible thread when I was about 20, 21. I don't know what I used it for. I used to make all sorts of things, but I often used the invisible thread. So number 21 was invisible thread. The next one is L'Occitane. And number 21 is at the top here. 21 is up here. Where's the circle? There, it's that side. Will it be a tube? Will it be a jar? Will it be soap? Oh, it's a tube. A tube? Another tube. Another tube, and it is, oh, this is a very nice name that they call it. It is called, let me pull you back up a minute. It's called a light comforting cream. A light comforting cream. Can you see that there? Light comforting cream. And what does this do? Facial cream light. 5 millilitres. I've never had this one before. Most of the things that I bought have been either hand creams. I often buy, oh, that's quite nice. It's very, very subtle. Very subtle. Not strong. Just a bit like what hand cream would feel like. But I would imagine it's not greasy. That's why it's called light, because it's not greasy. Yeah, very subtle. And now for the one you do like, if I can find where you are. 21. 21 today, 21 today. She's got the key to the door. Do, 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 do. Right, 21. Slight lack of continuity because I'm just busy uploading this now. It's 9:20, so you might not get this till tomorrow morning, because I started doing it, and then a piece of this has gone missing, the very start of it. So I'm come back in to redo it. Case of blackmail. During the run-up to Christmas, a letter with a fairly cryptic message arrived at 221B Baker Street. A bad joke? A dangerous fanatic? But Mr. Holmes wouldn't be a renowned detective he is if he couldn't decipher the meaning hidden between the lines. And this is what it looks like. That is the note that he got. And I'm going to read it to you. A deluge will come and wash the fences out of the halls, which are sacred temples to them. There will be sorrow as in the days of Herod, who slaughtered the boys of Bethlehem. The children will whine, and the women will curse blasphemously. But a prophet shall come down to the fallen ones and reach out to them to stop the water. He will command them to build an altar 3 days before Mary's delivery, which shall weigh 500 times 1,000 pounds. And a winged angel will look down on them, and he will see that the wrath of God has been appeased. Neither will he put an arrow on his bow, nor will he stretch its string, and the people will move on unchallenged. Thus it is written and testified by Moriartus Profundis. Moriarty. Well, that's all we know. Now, we've got to try and translate it, or at least, should we just leave it and let Holmesy do it? Because it means nothing to me, and I'm sure it means nothing to quite a lot of you. So we'll wait until the end, we'll find out what Holmes is going to tell you about it. So, let's go to the map of the British Isles. And the map of the British Isles for number 21, I've got my cards caught. That one's just dropped out, and that Ben Nevis has just dropped out. So, number 21 is, I nearly said 22. Oh, the Welsh Dragon's dropped out as well. That one belongs there. Number 21. Where is 21? 21, 23. 21. And it's kind of between Scotland and the Lake District, which is a beautiful part of England, as well as Scotland. Scotland is as well. So number 21 is... Oh... Number 21 is just exactly what I said, and I didn't know that. Number 21 is the Lake District. The Lake District. It's a part of England that has lots of beautiful lakes. The countryside is beautiful, and a lot of people want to go walking in that area. That area there. A lot of people like to go walking there, round the lakes and up the mountains. That's where Scafell Pike was that I walked up. Somebody else told me, and I can't remember who you were now, said that you'd done Snowdon. And another lady in America, and I can't remember, California was it she was telling me? Off the top of my head, I can't remember your name, but you were saying that you climb mountains all the time. I just wish I could. I want to. But, you know, up here wants to do it. From here, I want to do it. Down to my knees, I want to do it. But from my knees downwards, they just don't want to go. Anyway, the Lake District, which is number 21. And it says, England's largest national park is a World Heritage Site and home to Scafell Pike, the country's highest mountain, and vast water, its deepest lake. More than 15 million people visit every year. Everybody loves to go to the Lake District sometime in their lives. And the thing I like about it now that I've moved from up here to down there, is it's only an hour across to the Lake District for us. So we can jump in the car where that letterbox is, this is, and we can get across the Lake District within about 50 minutes. And that's what I like as well, because I can get there quickly. So, that is your map of the British Isles. So very quickly we'll get back to this one. A case of blackmail. It was a bit of a weird one, this one. So let's find out what Holmes says. Holmes, take a look at this signature. Could this letter be from our old acquaintance, Professor Moriarty? I thought he was killed at the Reichenbach Falls. Moriarty is not behind this letter, Watson. The signature is the writer's way of making sure we take this letter seriously and decipher the message. Is he trying to educate the people of London then, said Watson. On the contrary, it's utterly base. He wants money. Lots of money. Floods, fence hauls, Herod, whipping children, scolding women. What do you think of when you hear these words? "The just punishment of the mean and miserly in a godly court," said Watson. "You've been to too many Bible readings, Watson. Christmas shopping, of course. For example, the mere sound of the word Herod will make Londoners think of Harrods, the world's most famous department store. The flood probably does mean some kind of flooding. I therefore deduct that the sender plans to flood Harrods in the Christmas rush, perhaps by manipulating the water supply and causing burst pipes. The loss in sales would be substantial. According to the prophet, that must be our blackmailer, because that's what we're dealing with here. The whole thing can only be put off by handing him what he calls an altar of 500 times £1,000, 3 days before the birth of our Lord, or Christmas if you prefer. I think he means £500,000 in unmarked bank notes. Where? He mentions the angel, winged without an arrow. It's Anteros, the god of requited love, but never mind. At lunchtime the place will be crowded with people, which would ensure a smooth handover of the money. Mr. Moriartis Profundus wants to demonstrate that he can clear the greatest hurdle, me. By sending this letter to me, he has asked me to dance to his tune, as it were. I will do my best to tread on his toes. The directors of Harrods needn't provide £500,000. Instead, they should put a secret watch on the water supply of the building and keep a sharp eye on all the workers who have access to it. The blackmailer may well come from their own ranks. If he doesn't receive his money, he will either give up or complete his act of sabotage to spite us all. That's when we'll spring the trap. So there you go. That's what happens. There you are. Interesting, good, different, yeah, all of those. Right, well, we'll leave the next one. The next one, Deadly Christmas Dinner. We'll leave that till tomorrow. So in the meantime, I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.